Hi, welcome back to TrueSight episode 3. I'm joined here by
Spica.
So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the first slide. So we're gonna be talking about. Sorry to bring up some trauma.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. Echo Fox. Go on.
Okay, I have one thing to say about this. Okay, so I think I was 16
Yeah.
when this happened, and you see how there's a stash, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the last 2 years at the time, I was like, "Hey, mom, dad, I don't think this stash really fits me." And then they were like, "No, you can't shave it off because if you shave off your stash, it's gonna grow longer." There's a misconception that if you shave up your mustache, it's gonna grow longer.
Yeah.
And then after this, I was like, "No, this is not happening."
I feel like that's a lie though, because I feel like I shave mine off pretty often. It doesn't grow back any faster.
No, it's just like a conspiracy theory.
I don't know where it came from.
Because I'm Asian and I cannot grow any facial hair for my life.
Really?
Yeah.
How often do you shave then?
I just shave like every 2-3 days because there's stubbles.
Yeah.
And it looks like a little weird.
Yeah.
But I can't grow stash on my side or anything like that.
That's fair. So talking about your time on Echo Fox, like you said, you were very, very young. Came into the league. That was right when franchising happened.
Yeah.
So run me through kind of what motivated you to go pro and how you got your foot in the door with Echo Fox.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it was funny. I first got on Echo Fox because of Scouting Grounds, right? So back then, Riot was doing an event where they invite, I think it was top 5 of the highest ranked player in each role to LA, right? So it's like a scouting event. And I so happened to get invited because I think there was I think at the time on the ladder, I was ranked 8 for junglers. But then all the junglers before me were too toxic to get accepted. So I got accepted because of that. I think it was Tarzan got denied. I think maybe Panzer Dragon got denied.
Pants got denied.
At the time, yeah. I mean, he was wild.
Yeah.
He was wild. So I just got so lucky that I, so happened to be, I think it was top 4, actually. So I got invited as number 4 and nobody knew who I was at the time. So that's how I get to know Peter Zhang, who was an Echo Fox Academy coach. And he was like, "Oh, my brother speaks Chinese too. Let me pick him up." So that's how I got on Echo Fox, I think.
How good is your Chinese 1 to 10?
Okay, I usually say my Chinese sucks, right? But I think when I say my Chinese sucks, it's compared to native speakers. Because native speakers can tell I'm not native. I have an American accent, but I grew up speaking Chinese. So I would say maybe to Americans, it's a 10. To Chinese people, maybe a 6 or 7 or 5-ish.
So if I asked you to say a sentence in Chinese, would you be able to say it?
I mean, I could say it, but it's kind of weird,
Yeah, I mean,
it's a little weird because usually I only speak Chinese to my parents.
Do you want to try or?
No, it's I'm a zoo animal, type shit.
Okay. You don't do it?
No, I'm good.
That's fair.
I'm good.
So you said, you got through scouting grounds. Peter Zhang, that's a whole different story. So what made you want to originally go pro?
I mean, it was just fun, right? It's just I was just playing games every day because I find it fun because I think League is actually a very engaging game. It's you can visually see your ranks improve, your skills improve, and it's a competitive game, right? So that was what really drew me in. And then I was just playing. I was trying to get as high of a rank as possible. And then, I just got a letter saying, "Oh, you could go to this thing." I was like, "Oh shit, it's cool." I never thought I was gonna go pro initially, but it's just a thing that just sort of happened.
You mentioned earlier that you have Asian parents. Were they supportive of this? Were they against? I'm assuming they were against this.
Yeah, the funny story is that when I get the letter to go to LA, my mom thought I was gonna get kidnapped or something. They're gonna ship me to some third world country. They're gonna harvest my organs. Legit. That was a legit concern they had. And my mom had to bring in her friends to try to convince me because her English is not great, right? So she has to try to bring in her friends that speak good English to try to convince me, "Hey, you should not go." And I was like, I'm gonna go no matter what, right? Because I know it's legit. I feel even if it doesn't pan out to anything substantial, I still think it's a good experience, right? So in the end, my mom was like, "Okay, if you want to go, your dad has to come with you," which is what happened.
Are they supportive of your career now? Because it's been what since this year, 6 years I think since this.
6 years, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say they're full on supportive, they watch all my games and stuff like that, but they're just okay, do what you want to do. We're fine with whatever you want to pursue.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
That's fair. So if we can go to the next slide. Can we watch a little clip?
Oh, I've watched this thousands of times. I know every single frame that happened.
Oh shit.
That was kind of sick, no?
That was
kind of sick.
I was watching it. That was so fucking
Yeah. Oh.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this hurts.
Yeah. If we killed them, that would have been. I think that would have been game over. But it happened.
All right. So in honor of your team falling asleep, I actually have some
Yeah.
props for you.
Thank you.
Here's a pillow.
Yeah, I need some back support here.
Yeah. I mean, obviously your back
Yep.
probably hurt from carrying them that hard.
Yep.
There you go. So
Sorry.
we can go to the next
snooze
slide.
in here.
So again, trigger warning.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna be talking about TSM. So you played with a lot of players. You
Mhm.
obviously played with the goats and Double Lift Bjergsen.
Yeah.
Played with POE. You played with, unfortunately, Sword Art. You played with quite a few people. Do you have a favorite teammate of all time?
Favorite team of all time.
Yeah.
I think it's probably got to be Bjerg because he was also my coach, right? So I saw like different perspective of him. But I think he's just like everything you want in a teammate. You know, he's good at the game. He is a very nice and caring person, right? Outside of the game as well. And he's just very smart about the game. He was essentially a coach in 2020 and 2021, obviously. So I think he's just like everything you want out of a player, honestly.
So when you joined TSM, this was around the time when they were kind of having that like roster kind of shuffle with Acadian and now Armau splitting
Yeah.
time. So when you were on TSM, like what was like your expectation? Because you just come off Echo Fox.
Yeah.
Before you went to TSM, you were inactive at Echo Fox.
Yeah.
So were you like thinking, oh, this is my first actual opportunity?
Mhm.
Were you kind of thinking like you said earlier, let me just go with the flow, see how it goes? Like,
Yeah.
what was running through your mind when you joined TSM?
I mean, when I joined TSM Academy, I just thought it was cool, right? It was like, holy shit, I'm playing games and I'm getting paid for it, right? I think that's like every 17-year-old's dream, and especially on like as prestigious of a org as TSM at the time, right? I grew up watching like Bjerg and Double Lift. I think it was like 2016 roster. And I also grew up watching the All One. I think that was one of the first few jungle streams I watched because they were really popular at the time. So it's like I was really familiar with the org my whole like career playing League. So honestly, it was really cool seeing like all these people that I used to watch on the screen like in real life and like interacting with them.
Obviously, on TSM, you guys had a ton of ups and
Yeah.
downs. I think some of the ups and downs, both of them came in like 2020. Obviously, you guys started off kind of rough, but you went on to go to Worlds. So what did you like gain from TSM? Because it feels like, I mean, we're going to touch on it later in the
Yeah.
video, but it feels like pretty much your whole career is kind of been like ups and downs. You've had some great moments, and then sometimes there's been times when your team, for lack of a better word, like explodes. So kind of, how do you keep her cool after you were at TSM for like a couple years? What did you take away from TSM, and how did you keep her cool the whole time?
I mean, I think TSM honestly gave me really high expectation for how an org should be ran and how things in esports are supposed to be. Just because I feel like at the time I was joining, everyone was very professional. Everybody was good at their job. They know what they want to do. It felt like a great like org or company to be in, right? Like I'm still friends with like pretty much everyone from the 2020 roster. It's been like a really good time. I just think maybe it set my expectation too high, just because I won like my first split, and then my second year I got like MVP, right? So I think part of it is, or it can be negative because it just set my expectation for myself way too high. And I think that just made it worse as the years go by, I would say.
So you're pretty close with some of the former teammates. I believe in 2022, the offseason,
Yeah.
you were rumored to join a roster with Bjergsen and Double Lift. They obviously ended up sticking with Closer.
Yeah.
So kind of speak on like how that relationship has helped you, how you think of them as people, because I feel like Bjergsen is someone who everyone loves. Like I have yet to meet someone who dislikes Bjergsen, and if they do, they're pretty weird.
Yeah.
With Double Lift, I feel like the sentiment's kind of 50-50. Some
Yeah.
people love him, some people hate him.
Peter is a pretty polarizing figure, but I like him. I can see why some people can be off-putting of how he is, but I think he's a great friend.
Do you think that your experience playing with them kind of set your expectation really high in the future for future teammates? Because they're both very hard workers.
Oh, definitely. I think just playing with them, I thought the stuff that he did was standard, when the stuff they did was actually like way above what the average pro player is gonna give you, right? I think playing with Bjerg, he was like shot calling a lot in game. Outside of game, he's like trying to help you with like whether it's like in-game stuff or like out of game stuff that he wanna like help you with. He will be like concerned if you're not having like a good day and stuff like that. That he was going way above and beyond what he was supposed to do. Peter as well, right? So that's my expectation for like what my teammates should be like really, really high, just right off the bat. Even like BB, you know, like Balfrost, like all those people, they were like really professional and great with what they're doing, right? And a lot of times in my teams after that, I felt that was a standard, and I was frustrated when that wasn't happening because you know there's a lot of different players, everyone's different personality and stuff, right? Like that, right? Some people are more quiet, they just prefer by themselves. Some people are more outspoken, but maybe in a more aggressive way. So I think I was struggling with like trying to interact with those type of personalities when like for my first 2 years, I feel like I got along with my teammates really well in terms of like how we interact with each other, I would say.
So after playing with those guys, what do you think is like the biggest takeaway that you still hold to this day on now Dignitas? Like, what do you think is like the principle or the lesson you've learned that affected you the most since then?
I mean, I would just say the biggest thing is just dedication to their craft. I think besides like, you know, personality things, because I don't think I could be like the leader that Bjerg was, you know, how he was like helping his teammates and stuff like that. But just seeing how he was dedicated to the game, you know, learning the game, always like, he's like the GOAT, right? And he was still like trying to learn from other people. He was still like working really hard, even though his career is like as good as it gets, honestly, I feel. So I think I really carried that over, and I just try to imitate that to, you know, be successful.
That's good. So we can go to the next slide. All right. So the forbidden question, English or Spanish?
English. I don't know Spanish.
Okay, I'm glad you chose English because my Spanish is not that good either.
Yeah, you should have done like English or like Chinese.
But I don't know Chinese either.
Then why'd you pick this?
I guess just put English or English.
English.
All right. Whoever moves first has to gank bot. Okay, we're good.
I'm not ganking bot. I'm full clear.
I know.
I am full clear.
That's exactly
I'm
what
not
I did.
ganking any lanes.
Exactly.
Want to go next?
Yeah. So trigger warning again.
Oh wow, this is a 3-minute video. Oh, stop this. No, you gotta pause this.
It's only.
If you don't pause it, no, pause it right now.
It's only.
Pause it right now. I'm gonna walk out.
It's 15 seconds.
Hey, producer, pause the video.
It's stop.
Okay.
It's just 15 seconds.
This is an actual trigger warning.
I know. That's
This is
what I
an
said.
actual trigger. No, the first one was not a trigger warning, or the second one, but this one was like peak.
Now we're gonna talk about your favorite team you played for FlyQuest.
Yeah.
So you joined FlyQuest. They had like a super roster.
Uh-huh.
Impact, I think, is in the conversation for NA Go. Obviously, you, Vikla, who at the time was a very hyped up player from Korea, and then Prince, as well as, I mean, there was a couple of supports, but I believe it was Winsome and Ayla.
Yeah.
So when he joined the team, I think most people had that roster top 3, top 2. I did as well. So where was your expectations joining the roster? Because that was after you'd been at TSM, like you mentioned, you were with these players like Bjergsen and Doublelift who set the bar so high. Now that you're at FlyQuest, where were your expectations now?
I mean, I think going to the year, definitely top 3 at the very worst, right? Which I think we did in Spring Split. I didn't expect us to like just come out the gate like winning games that easily, but I think our expectation for ourselves was really high, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that showed in Spring. You guys ended up fumbling a little bit in the finals, but top 2 in regular season, 3rd place finish. It's not. I mean, obviously everyone's aiming to win.
Yeah,
but it's not the worst finish ever. Like that's whatever. Yeah. Right. So from that time, how was like the dynamic? Because I think there was like a lot of like leaks. There was a lot of conversation about how the environment might not have been the best when it came to scrims, when it came to stage matches. So what was kind of like the environment at FlyQuest during this year?
I mean, I thought in the beginning when we were bootcamping in Korea, because we spent like 4 weeks in Korea before the split starts, I thought our environment was really great. Everybody was trying their best. We're trying to help each other improve. We're all focused on the game, right? No one was like tilting or like running it down. So I thought going to the year, it was great, right? Every day feel like we're improving. We're like we're getting better as a team. But I think as we come back to NA, the environment just, I wouldn't say it got worse just because I felt like it was similar throughout the split. It's just like, it just got worse when we're losing, right? Because when you're winning, everything's okay, which we were in the beginning. And then as we like start playing worse as individually, start playing worse as a team, it just naturally got worse. And I think part of that is also due to cultural difference, honestly, I feel, because it kind of felt like there was like 2 cliques. It was like the Americans versus the Koreans, which happens a lot, honestly, when you have like imports, right? The Koreans will often just be closer with other Koreans, and, you know, vice versa. The Americans would just naturally converse more with the, you know, the English speakers, I guess. So I think often it creates like these 2 groups that are, I wouldn't say like against each other, but like there wasn't any conversation flowing between like all the players.
So like you mentioned, there's 2 cliques. Was there a player who acted like a bridge, maybe like Impact, who knows both English and Korean?
Yeah.
And I believe Winsome, who also knows both English and Korean. Did those guys ever try and kind of bridge the gaps in communication, or was it kind of like every man for himself?
I mean, I think mostly our coach Sharks, he was trying to do that, but I think it's so difficult, right? Since he doesn't speak Korean. I think no matter how hard someone tries, it's up to the players themselves to try to connect with each other. And I don't think it was ever like, oh, we just don't talk to each other, right? It just felt like there was these type of 2 groups, I guess dictating how the team should be ran and stuff like that.
That's fair. So I think coming into this split, there's like times when FlyQuest was like fucking amazing, and there's like times when you guys kind of struggled. Do you think a lot of the issues at that point came down to communication?
I want to say it was communication. I just felt like our team was like very emotional as well. I think we're a bit of I think a lot of us on the team was a bit of like a perfectionist, where it's like, okay, a lot of times we were playing the game, right? And if we fuck up one thing, we just felt really pressured because, oh, this is such a simple thing. How could we fuck it up? And then we put pressure on ourselves, and then we just naturally play worse, right? And then as you lose more, you just get more frustrated with yourself, with the team. I think Prince was definitely a player like that, where it's like he expects himself to be as perfect as possible. And then when he does mess up, whether it's like himself or his teammates, he just feels really like mentally pressured. And I think that pressure just became worse as the split went on, and like, as the year went on, and we just started playing worse. So I think that was definitely a big issue.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it kind of snowballed as the year went on. In spring, as I mentioned, 3rd place finished, whatever.
Yeah.
And then in summer, you guys actually even subbed in your academy mid laner at one point. So at that time, I mean, obviously you're not going to be like, oh, I gave up. But did you ever feel like the team kind of gave up at some point?
I wouldn't say we gave up, because I feel like even towards like all the way at the end of split, right, where like our chances of like going to playoffs was like pretty slim, we were still trying our best. But I'm not sure. I just think the environment at the time was just bad, right? Like, I don't think people were like exactly getting along with each other. There wasn't a lot of conversations outside of like team meetings, right? It was like, oh, the only time we're talking to each other is team meetings, and then if it's beyond that, we don't really have like one-on-one conversation with players. We weren't really getting along super well, and you could definitely feel the tension. So I think that, I think that's just natural.
Yeah, that's good enough. And do you have like any regrets from that roster?
I think the biggest regret was just trying to talk to my teammates more. At the time, it was like, I feel like the language barrier made it harder, but I think I definitely could have made more effort, like just trying to talk to teammates, see their perspective and things like that. And I think, partially, one of the partial reasons why I wanted like a more English roster, especially on Flag or on Dignitas, is that like I want to be able, just make it easier to talk to my teammates, right? And I think so far it's been going good.
So would you say like after FlyQuest, that's something you aim to do with Dignitas, is to kind of have a good experience with your teammates? Because I feel like you guys get along pretty well. So.
Yeah, I think that was like one of my priorities, just being able to get along with teammates. Because I feel like League as a team or as a game has evolved a lot as the years went by, right? I feel like it's more about your chemistry, playing well with your team. No matter how skilled you are individually, if you can't work together with a team but trying to find the same way to play the game, I guess, you're not going to beat the team that does that, right? Like, just look at NRG, right? They were, I want to say individually, they were like great or the best in North America, but the teamwork was great. They were on the same page, they're doing the same thing. And that's why they won LCS. And I feel like a lot of times that's what you need to do to win, right? So that's why I was aiming for this year, at least.
For sure. If we can go to the next slide.
All right, what's the next one?
So, it was just a picture of FlyQuest. Do you ever miss those guys?
I think the one I missed most was Prince. Honestly, I think he was a really, really nice guy. Prince in game and outside game is like two completely different person. I think Prince in game is like
scary.
He's scary.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm afraid of him, but like he's scary. He has a lot of confidence, and outside the game, he's like a teddy bear. He was such a great teammate. So I definitely miss him.
Those jerseys are kind of sick too.
Yeah, I like the design, but the material wasn't really that great, honestly.
Oh, really?
But
I never.
Yeah, I think FlyQuest jersey design is always like one of the best. Yeah.
We can go to the next slide.
Outside of Dignitas, of course, I got to put that in.
Oh, that is true. Yeah.
Right.
Now that you're on Dignitas.
Right. I would say that regardless, of course.
So your comments on energy was kind of a foreshadowing. We're gonna
Yeah.
be talking about your social media presence right now.
Yeah.
So let's start with this one. So
Well, these are new ones. I got some really old bangers.
oh, don't worry, I have the old ones.
Oh,
too.
you got the old ones too?
only,
All right.
only one of the old ones. Though.
All right. I mean, I got a lot of those, so.
So on June 5th, which is a little bit over a month ago,
Uh-huh.
you called for the high elo players to int Dokla.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
I mean, he was just look at his tweet. This is like self-explanatory. Sending hate from NRG.
And
I got to get my goons out, to show them a lesson. Like, you can't just send hate like that without retaliation,
So you
right?
said you'd give them $20 to show proof. Did you
Yeah.
ever end up paying anyone?
No one into him.
Can we check your PayPal history?
I mean, no one DM'd me like a proof,
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, maybe they're just doing it for free because,
I
he deserves it.
have a mortgage down in D1 Masters, so how can I get involved?
I mean, if you see him, I think you should. I could give you coaching. You get to his elo and then in him.
Okay, and then I
And
get
I'll,
$20.
I'll coach you for free.
Okay.
No, I'll
and
coach
then-
you for free, right? Because that's the payment.
Oh, and then plus 20.
That's a payment, right?
Okay.
So
Not bad.
that's your motivation of getting higher elo, so you
Yeah.
could get the payment from me.
Honestly,
$20.
I
If
might-
any high elo players watching this offer still stands. By the way, in this motherfucker, give me screenshot and I'll give you 20. Actually, no, $25. I got to raise the stake.
Oh, shit.
I got to raise the stake.
That's enough for like one boba drink in LA.
Exactly.
Not bad.
Exactly.
So we're going to go to this one now.
Yeah.
APA,
Yeah.
NA's poster boy now.
Yeah.
You said, if the fans can see scrims, I think Romer might be coming in.
Yeah.
So had you guys just beat them in scrims? Like, what had happened?
I mean, we don't beat anyone scrims.
Oh. It's okay. You're like hiding your true potential.
No, but it's like, what I mean is that like we don't beat anyone, right?
Mhm.
But like, you can see someone's performance in scrim, right? It's like, okay, we lose, but you still look like a clown, right? We might be clowns, but you're also in the circus as well, right? So that's what I mean.
He is first place right now, though. So do you feel like you're losing any power to talk shit, or are you still going to keep on talking shit?
I mean, I feel like talking shit should be something you do before the game and after the game. I think people who talk shit after the game is lame, right? There's a lot of, like, I don't want to call anyone out. I mean, I don't even have a specific person, but I think just, like, sending a tweet, say, oh, these guys sucks, right after you, like,
Barely.
beat them, is just, like, lame, right? Because it doesn't give any tension to the game. It's just, like, a cheap shot, like that rune type shit.
Okay, man. That took me a second. What the fuck is wrong with you? Come on.
We're playing TL the 20th, so the first game, I think, after we come off break, so I think it's going to be a fun match.
Who do you think is going to win? I mean, you have to say Dignitas.
I mean, of course I have to say Dignitas.
Do you think it's like going to be close, or are you going to like shit on him?
I don't even think it's going to be close. They're not even going to get one minion, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. So going on to this next one, you have your 80 carry Zen.
Yeah.
It was on his birthday.
Yeah.
He said, I had a great day getting griefed by Bjergsen and Spica in scrims. And you said, happy birthday, Unc, but I deny all allocations. Did you actually in scrims that day? Or is it bot gap?
Let me just say, int is a strong word. I might have underperformed, but I think out of the 5 players, I wasn't the number 1 in underperformance.
Okay, so you weren't the worst overall.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I
So
think-
that was I feel like that statement is emotionally charged by Sven, right?
Did you guys ever resolve it? Or is this still like
No.
some kind of tension?
There's still some tension there.
Does he beg for a gang spot?
I mean, he doesn't say it out loud, but I can feel it.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
It's like I feel his aura, like asking for a gang spot, but
Yeah. So the last one, your rival Dokla. I mean, this is 11 days after that one?
11 days after that.
So first series of a split, hashtag energy win. You said sending hate from Dignitas.
Yeah, they did win that series. Who did they play again? I forgot.
Honestly,
I think they lost.
they probably
I think they played 100 Thieves actually, and they got
shit on.
shit on. Yeah. So
Yeah.
my hate worked.
So yeah, I was about to ask. Do you feel like your hate has contributed to their struggles? Like, do you feel like you cursed them?
I feel like it definitely pressures Dokla.
Yeah.
He's just in game laning. He's like, oh shit,
Oh shit, speakers
I'm getting shit talked,
Yeah.
right? Oh shit, we're not doing so well right now. I'm gonna get shit talked. So I think it might have been my fault.
But do you have like any regrets? Or like
I
are
know
you happy?
regrets, of course. No regrets, of course.
We can go to the next slide. So we actually have a tweet from 2018. You tweeted, "I enjoy playing League of Legends."
Oh my god, I need to delete my old tweets.
Yeah, you probably
Oh,
should.
you-
It's my favorite video game. When it's regular season, I think to myself, yes. When it's preseason, I think to myself, no.
Why
So-
did I tweet that?
I don't know.
Why did I tweet that?
I honestly?
I think
don't
it's
know.
because preseason is usually the worst time to play solo queue.
Yeah, it's like
That's
all
why
the
I tweeted
griefers.
that.
Yeah,
But like, why would I tweet that?
exactly. But I wanted to ask, since Riot has now removed
Yeah.
preseason, are you saying yes more often?
Well, since there's no preseason, the only thing I can say is yes.
So are you happier overall?
Well, I don't like the fact that there's 3 regular seasons. If that's what you're asking, I think 2 was like the perfect amount. Because I feel like 3 regular season just feels like everything's preseason.
Honestly, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not long enough to like.
Yeah, it's like when there's no preseason, then everything's preseason. You feel me?
Yeah, because I feel like with 2 splits, it kind of filtered out the people who don't play that much.
Yeah.
But with 3, it's like you constantly have to like.
It's like the ladder's constantly resetting, and then like when it feels like it's like stabilized after like a month I think month or 2, it resets again. So it just feels really bad to play. And I feel like it's just a way for like Riot to. It's a way to force people to play the game, right? Which a lot of times just doesn't go well.
So you're saying yes more often, but in your head you think no sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I'm saying yes 3 times, well, 2 times more than before.
Mm-hmm.
But then if it's only yes, is it really yes?
True.
Right.
That is pretty deep. That's pretty profound. We can go to the next slide. So this.
Can we go to the next slide?
No, we actually can't.
Can we? We already saw this though.
Yeah.
We already saw this.
But there's a reason why I bring this up.
Okay.
So throughout the course of your career,
you've
had quite a few different haircuts.
Okay.
I mean, right now you're kind of rocking like a middle part. Looks.
Yeah,
cool.
I need a haircut soon.
This is when you were on Team Infernal for Scouting Grounds.
Yeah.
So I actually have a tier list maker.
Okay.
And you're going to rank each haircut one by one. Now these
like how iconic it is, or like
how much you like
how much
it.
I like it. Okay.
So we can go ahead and start with the first one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put the worst one. I don't like this. I don't know what the fuck happened here.
Yeah, that one's pretty bad.
I don't know what happened. Yeah. Oh no, that was when I was growing my hair out.
I was gonna go in order since
okay.
Since
the order. Okay. This one. Okay, this one. I mean, this one's not too bad. I was young, right? So I'm gonna put it at C tier.
C tier.
C tier, not too bad.
Okay.
Next one.
TSM Academy.
So TSM Academy. This one's not too bad. I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have smiles.
Yeah, I mean,
right. The smiles just fade away as the years gone by. So, just due to the fact that there's smiles, and honestly, it was a very good time. I'm gonna put it at S tier.
Oh, this one's S tier.
Yeah, because I think that's the only picture I'm smiling.
Yeah, and then we have the next one. Your smile went down a little bit. My
smile. What? This was 2020.
I think this is when he went to LCS. What the hell happened?
Oh, I look a little chubby here. Not gonna lie, might have had too much McDonald's.
Did TSM pay for it?
Of course not.
Oh, well, I was about to say, well, if they do that, it's fine. But if they don't,
I'm gonna put that at B tier.
B tier.
I'm gonna put that at B tier. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad.
All right.
All right, next one.
Oh, Lion's Mane.
That was I think that this has to be COVID. This has to be COVID.
I think it was around COVID time. Yeah.
Yeah, this has to be COVID. Well, no smiles. Put that in D.
This one you're like honestly frowning. Like,
yeah. That one's not a good time.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Next one. Ooh, this one's okay. This one's
not bad. This one's not bad.
I mean, I feel like there's too much hype to it, but overall, I think the cut's fine.
Yeah.
You look a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
like I got that like.
I mean, that's what playing for TSM does.
You know, like.
That's what playing for TSM.
I mean, this one's not too bad. This one's not too bad. I'm gonna put that at A tier.
A tier. Okay.
A tier. Okay.
Next one.
Yeah, put that in D tier. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
I remember seeing that because I've been a fan of the LCS for like 7 years. I was like, why the fuck does he have this haircut?
No, it's because I was growing my hair out, right?
Okay, so it was intentional.
So I was trying to grow my hair out as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's move on.
Okay, next one. This one's really good. I like
this one's not bad. Yeah, this one's not bad.
Is this also?
I'm gonna put that at S tier. I feel. I'm gonna put that at S tier.
Ahead or?
I mean, there wasn't any smiles there, but like it's not too bad.
Okay, so I'll put it behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it behind because there's no smiles.
Okay.
There's no joy in my life anymore.
The last one before what you have right now. This is the one on FlyQuest.
Yeah.
We can go to the next slide.
I just shaved my head because the backstory of this, right? It's that like I went to Korea because we bootcamp in Korea. I got a haircut in Korea, right? They fucked me up.
Was it bad?
It wasn't like horrible, but it was bad, right? Mm-hmm. So I came back to LA. I was like, okay, we can still fix this, right? Mm-hmm. So I went to my usual salon in LA, right? Mm-hmm. And it was a new guy, and he fucked me up
twice. So you're double fucked.
So I got double fucked. So I was like, fuck it, let's just restart.
Triple fuck.
Yeah. And then my girlfriend just.
Your girlfriend did that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a buzz cut, right?
How come she didn't line you up then? There's like a widow's peak. She should have like.
That's what I'm saying.
She used to work on her buzz cutting.
Yeah, I mean, understandable to be honest.
Yeah.
Understandable. So.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm gonna put it as C tier. Honestly, it's not like it's just a utilitarian haircut, right? Like.
So behind or ahead of Infernal?
I'm gonna put it behind.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with buzz cut. You know.
Yeah.
Like.
Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with this list.
Yeah. How would you like?
I think I wouldn't really change anything.
Yeah. But the order, though.
I think the order is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly might. I mean, I know you're not smiling, but I would move this one up.
Yeah. Just from pure aesthetic perspective.
Yeah, I think like aesthetics wise.
So even though there's no joy left.
Yeah, exactly.
In my face, I mean, aesthetically speaking, it's still up
the
there.
joy kind of left your life.
I mean, it's been gone for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. We don't need to. Like,
the more you played. So
Yeah.
where would you rank a current haircut? Is it also S tier?
No, I wouldn't say it's S. I would just say it's like average because I need to get a haircut soon.
Okay, so like A or B.
So I would just put it at B.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so if we can go to the next slide. So now we're gonna be talking about Dignitas # Dig Season. So you were part of that rumored Golden Guardians roster with Licorice. I believe it was Young, Sven, Trimby.
I don't think mid-lane was young.
Was it not?
We didn't decide on a mid-lane.
Okay, mid lane was still up for grabs.
It was still up for grabs.
I think Young was one of the people they were considering.
Yeah, but it wasn't like we didn't have a hard name at the time. Yeah.
So I think we've talked about this briefly before, but obviously we know what happened. But what was your initial reaction when you found out that Golden Guardians got Thanos snapped?
It's blows. What can I do, right? I mean, I think at the time I was choosing between FlyQuest and Golden Guardians because FlyQuest dropped me, but I still got an offer to stream. So I was deciding between those two, whether should I stream or should I go to Golden Guardians. And then when that didn't happen, I still have the streaming thing, right? So I still had a backup plan, but obviously I was kind of sad because I feel like the roster was really good and I feel like we had like good people around us, you know, and Nero was going to be our coach and I have respect for him as a person. I don't know how he is as a coach, but he's a very great person to interact with. So I thought it was going to be a good time, but, you know, it didn't happen. So, you know, it is what it is.
And now you're on Dignitas, which before this year, if someone were to join Dignitas, I would say, I'm sorry to hear that. But now it's like, you're on Dignitas and things have been going, I feel like, pretty well.
Could be better.
Could be better for sure, especially after the FlyQuest series.
Yeah.
Could definitely be a lot better. But I think you guys have performed pretty well. I think, like I said, before the season, Dignitas was like the worst or second worst team. I mean, honestly, the worst spots reserved for Immortals.
Yeah.
So they're like the second.
It's like no matter who Immortals have, they're right.
It's almost kind of funny.
You could put T1 roster on Immortals, 8th place.
It's like they're cursed. Like they've had so many different players and they've never not been last.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now you're on Dignitas. You have Jensen. You have a bunch of veterans. So obviously like Licorice, Sven, Jensen. Then Isles, who is kind of new to tier 1. He was on C9 really briefly.
Yeah.
So kind of obviously also that was around the time when XU got dropped. I heard you had a partner. I'm joking. So
I prayed on his downfall.
Yeah, you were waiting for him to get dropped so you could join.
Yeah.
So what has it been like at Dignitas? You said you enjoy quite a bit, but what has it been like working with the players?
I mean, I think working wise, it's good to just be able to talk to your teammates because everybody speaks English. I think we have a really good environment. I would say it's one of the best team environments you know I've had for the past like 2-3 years. I just feel like everybody speaks the same language, everybody understands the same culture, so it's easy to relate to your teammates and have fun. And I still feel like we're serious when we're scrimming, you know, because I think a lot of times when you're playful, it kind of seeps into scrims, right? It's like everybody's like trolling too hard, stuff like that. I don't really feel that with our team, but like we know when to turn it on and when to turn it off, right? Like when to be serious and when to not be. And another thing I feel like is it really feels like the old days of esports when you're just like friends in a team house, right? In a gaming house. I feel like for the past few years, a lot of esports teams have just evolved to like, okay, it's like work. You know, you go to the office, you work, and then you go home. But, you know, we have a gaming house, even though we don't really all live there. It still feels like the old days where it's like you're just playing with your friends, you're having fun while trying to be the best. So honestly, it's been great so far.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that Sven has had some crazy performances. Would you say he's like the main carry of the team, or do you think anyone can step up at any time? Because obviously, there's like the mic check where you were like, Jensen Corky.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you think Sven is like the main carry, or do you think anyone can carry at any given
I mean,
time?
I think we're still trying to figure that out. We don't really have like a team play style or team dynamic of, oh, this guy's a carry. We're all trying to play to support them, right? Because we're still a new team relatively. I think we've only scrimmed for like a month when most of the teams in the league have been playing for like 7 months, stuff like that. So we're still trying to play catch up, trying to figure out what works best for us, right? So I think we're still figuring that one out. And I mean, I do think Sven is a very vocal player on our team. A lot of times he's the one like trying to lead review, trying to get us on the right track. So, and I think he's really flexible. So, you know, we'll just see what happens.
So I'm actually going to ask you about 2 players in specific.
Okay.
So the first one, Isles. I feel like Isles is someone who not many people know.
Yeah.
And jungle support is like a combination where you guys obviously interact a lot. So kind of run me through what it's like playing with Isles, how
Yeah.
Isles is as a player.
Yeah.
What do you think he does well?
Honestly, I have no impression of Owls before this split. I didn't really pay attention much, but I think after playing with him, he works really hard, which is always a good thing. He's always like very self-critical. I think he's too much self-critical. So a meme in our team is that like Owls is too depressed. You know, like no matter what we do, he's like, oh, I fucked up. If you say, oh, Owls, you fucked this up, he would be like, the average player would be like, oh, maybe, you know, like. I was thinking this, right? I also just say, oh, yeah, I fucked up. In maybe like too much sometimes. So where a lot of times in review, we're trying to like give him confidence. Like, okay, you know, you got to be more aggressive, right? Like you got to like, when teammates say you fucked up, he's like, no, fuck you, you know, like in a meaning way.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's been great. I think he is still relatively new to like tier 1 gameplay. So I think he still has a lot of room to develop. But so far playing with him, I think it's been great. You know, when you give him feedback, he will take it to heart, which is good.
The second player I'm going to ask you about is Bjergsen.
Yeah.
So obviously he's a player who's been playing for so long, has had some crazy highs, but I feel like recently a lot of people label him as kind of a vegan player, as a kind of safe player. He won't lose you the game, but he won't win you the game. And being the jungler, you interact with him quite a bit. He's almost like your boyfriend. So what's it like playing with Bjergsen, and do you feel like he actually is a vegan, or is he maybe an omnivore?
I mean, I think, how do I put this? I wouldn't say just as a vegan. I just think he plays. How do I say this? I feel like the natural progression for like a lot of players when they get older is that like they would just naturally play more with their brain than hands, right? Which is like I feel like it's just normal. I want to say when players play longer, they get vegan. I just think they just naturally take more less risks. Like if you look at Faker, right? When he first started playing, he was like solo killing people. He's like, you know, going for really aggressive plays, and then now he's more like a shot caller, which I don't really think it's a bad thing. I think I want to say Jens is a vegan. I do think he plays a bit on the safer, more reserved side, but I don't think it's a bad thing, right? Like you need players that are always a rock, I would say. Some players, they would hard win the teams the game, or they would just hard lose their team the game. And for me, I feel like Jensen fits a good role in our game, you know, or in our team. He plays stable. He's always reliable, which I think you really need a reliable player in a team. So far playing with him, I think it's been good. You know, he does his job, which is more than I can ask for.
So if he's not a vegan, what dish would he order if you guys went to a team dinner?
Ooh. I mean, Jensen's not a vegan, but he's definitely a gluten-free type of guy.
Honestly,
is that vegan?
I can see that. No. It's different, but like
it's like kind of vegan, but it's like
I can see.
You know, he's like a bit of a. I want to say he's a health nut. But he likes his food clean.
Yeah, he doesn't like eat a bunch of unnecessary dirty stuff.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, so I don't know how you would describe that. Like
maybe a salad with chicken, maybe.
Like salad type of guy.
Yeah, I could see him eating a salad.
Right.
Yeah. Well, if we can go to the next slide, I believe it's the final slide. So in conclusion, we're also gonna like run through this message.
Yeah.
So we have your former support Ayla.
Yeah.
He asked, "You want coffee?" You said, "I'm sick, Billy." Are you on like friendly terms with him? Like, do you call him Billy usually?
Well, I don't really talk to Ayla that much anymore, but he was my teammate, so of course I'm gonna call him by his name, right?
Yeah, that's fair. And then so you asked him, "You think I want coffee? You can order to my apartment. I'll take it."
Yeah.
So are you talking about like an Uber Eats, like he orders it to your place, or like?
Yeah, because I was sick at the time, so I was screaming from home while they were in the office, I think.
Okay.
So that's what I mean, yeah.
So he then said, "You're sick. Is it what Song had?" So what did Song have?
I think Song has some like normal flu, I think, like before me. So maybe I got it from him, which is why I was sick. I don't really remember.
And would you like to read the last line for me?
Sick of dropping these nuts on your face. I gotta take the opportunity. It was given to me.
So do you? You say you don't talk to him that much anymore, but do you feel like when you see him in the hallways, do you ever like give him a high five? Do you ever like interact with him at all?
I give him a little smirk.
You give him a little smirk?
Maybe this is why.
Are you still dropping your nuts on his face?
Not anymore, but maybe this is why our relationship gone sour. Maybe that's our downfall.
The beginning of the
beginning of the downfall. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And Flashbang, don't mind the shirt. So I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. I personally thought this was my favorite one I've done so far. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if there's a player you want to see me interview that I haven't done already, just drop that in the comments as well. I am constantly reaching out to different players, so I might even end up doing your favorite player the next week or the week after. Just remember to subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss an upload, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.